Welcome back friends to the class number 98, and now through this video we will understand the concept of forward cover, forward hedging, right? So many terms are used for this. We call it forward exchange cover, hedging, derivative product. Some banks call it war limit, yeah, earlier limit also, right? So let us understand what is the concept behind that forward cover exposure. Let us understand the meaning and concept first. So suppose there is one farmer who is producing onion at the market price of onion is rupees 20 per kilogram, right? At the time of sowing, right? So the farmer who needs to feed himself, needs to feed his family with the income after harvesting the onions, selling the onions, he is expecting that the onions will fetch him at least 20 rupees per kg in the market, right? So, but what happened is at the time of harvesting, the prices of onion dropped to rupees 15 per kg. The prices of onion which was rupees 20 is now only rupees 15, right? So just imagine what would happen to a farmer whose finished product have prices have reduced so drastically, right? So this can hamper his upcoming season, this can hamper his family life. It will create a lot of instability in his life, right? So there is a lot of risk involved if the prices got reduced in future. So now imagine one another party, that is factory, right? That factory is buying onions from the farmer and the present market price is 20 rupees per kg. Factory is producing some goods for which onion is used and the factory is buying 20 rupees per kg onion presently. But when the crop came, when the harvesting done, the crop came, the prices of onion increased to rupees 25 per kg. The prices have gone up. So it would result in increasing the cost of inputs, cost of raw material for the company, right? So imagine if the company is not able to increase the prices of their finished products, then the company will have to bear all the loss of that increased prices by itself, right? So this involves a lot of risk for the company as well. So the farmer fears that the onion may prices may reduce in the future. The farmer who is the seller, right? The factory who is the buyer, it has fear of increase in prices of onion in future, right? So now what happens? Both of them, in order to save themselves from this problem, come together. They come together, they need to cover up that risk, so they both come together and they mutually decide that after a harvesting, that factory will buy the onions from farmer at 20 rupees per kg only, no matter whatever the actual price may be at the time of harvesting. The actual prices may be 17 rupees, the actual prices may be 23 rupees, right? Whatever may, irrespective of the actual prices, the farmer will sell the onion at 20 rupees per kg and factory will pay him at the rate of 20 rupees per kg at fixed date in future. So they pre-agree the price of rupees 20 per kg, say after, for example, after 6 months. So no matter whatever the actual price is. So now by doing this, the risk of both farmer and company got absolutely covered. Now the company has no fear of increase in prices. The farmer has zero fear of decrease in prices because they have made a contract of buying and selling the onion at 20 rupees per kg fixed price in future after 6 months. So practically this example involves two types of rates. One is spot rate and one is the forward rate or future rate. Spot rate is the present as on date price of the onion. The as on date price of the onion is 20 rupees, right? And future rate is the price agreed by them after a certain period of time. The price that both of them have agreed that they will deal in after 3 months, 6 months, or whatever period that they may have decided. So in this example, 20 rupees per month is the future rate or forward rate that they have decided with each other, right? So similar to that example, one another example is of importer and exporter. And exporter. So now in both of these cases, for importer and exporter, the core thing is currency. they are supplying goods to each other or providing services to each other, that is one separate thing, but they need to, lower down the risk of currency in it, right? So suppose $1 is rupees 90, is of rupees 90 today. So the exporter who is selling the goods, like farmer, has fear in his mind that the price of dollar may reduce to 85 rupees in future. The importer who is buying the goods, who is paying in dollar, has fear that $1 may rise up to 95 rupees in the future, right? Similar to the farmer and factory example. So may the prices of dollar may rise or drop in future, thus causing the risk of loss to the importer and exporter, like we have explained in the example of farmer and factory. Now, what happened? They both come together, importer and exporter, they both come together and join hands, and they agree for a fixed price of dollar. They agree a price of dollar with each other, like just like the what farmer and the factory did with each other, right? So, but there is one risk involved that I haven't discussed in the previous example with you. The one risk is the importer lives in, so for example, China or USA, the exporter is in India, right? So both of them have agreed to, agreed to a fixed price of dollar in future, right? So what happens is there is a counterparty risk involved here. What counterparty risk? The first risk is intentional risk, and second risk is unintentional risk. The counterparty risk is, I will explain with the farmer and factory example in a better way, because in dollar transaction that doesn't look so conceptual. So in farmer example, what if in future the prices of onion increased to rupees 25 per kg, and farmer with malified intention thinks that he can sell the onion at 25 rupees per kg in the market. So rather than selling to the factory at pre-agreed of price of rupees 20, he may cancel out the contract, run away from the contract, and sell the onion in the market, right? And similar can happen with factory also. If the prices of onion got reduced to rupees 17 per kg, the factory may decide to cancel out the contract with the farmer and buy the onion at 17 rupees per kg in future, right? So there is a counterparty risk that the other party may back away from their commitment, right? So that can happen in dollar transaction, in export import transaction as well, right? So that counterparty risk can be intentional, like in farmer and factory cases, where both of them with malified intention have knowingly broken their contract in order to gain more profits. And some counterparty risk can be unintentional as well. So suppose the farmer has agreed to sell the goods to a factory at pre-agreed price, but on after 6 months, what we have seen that the factory owner has become insolvent, or there is a war situation, or there is a COVID situation there, because of which the factory is totally non-operating. The factory is not operating at all. So in that case, the contract will not sail through, right? So that can be unintentional. There can be unintentional risk as well of economy, insolvency, war, etc., right? So due to this, it is very, very important to involve a middleman here between both of these parties, between factory and the farmer, or between the importer and the exporter. The middleman should be strong enough to honor the contract, or to get the transaction sail through to the end of the period, right? And that middleman is not other than the banker itself. The bank involves in this transaction as a middleman, and he comes into the picture, and he handles all the counterparty risk here. He handles all the counterparty risk. And now what happens? The exporter and importer, they don't know each other. They don't know each other. That is very important point. They know only the banker, right? So now what happens? Exporter is expecting to receive $1 lakh payment in future, right, in 6 months period. So exporter comes to the bank and say, see, I will receive $1 lakh in next 6 months, right? So I will give that $1 lakh to you, right? What price you offer me for that $1 lakh? The bank says, I will buy these dollars. I will buy these dollars from you at 90 rupees per dollar, right? So that is buying rate of the bank. Now similarly, the importer comes to the banker also, and the importer says, see, I have to make the payment of $1 lakh after 6 months. So I would need $1 lakh from you after 6 months. So at what rate you will give those dollars to me? The bank will say, we will offer you $1 at 91 rupees per dollar price. So that is the sell rate of the bank, right? So bank is buying at 90 rupees from the exporter and selling at rupees 91 to the importer. So that 1 rupee basically is the income of the banker here, right? So now since the banker is involved here, the exporter is not worried about the commitment of importer, and importer is not at all worried about the commitment of exporter will get his $1 lakh payment from the importer, and he will give that $1 lakh to the bank, and bank will credit him 90 rupees per dollar, right? So in importer case, after 6 months he will need the dollars, and bank will supply him $1 lakh at the rate 191 rupees per dollar, right? So banks will meet its commitment, that is 100% assured, right? Because the bank is a big organization, a corporate sector, managed by RBI as well. So no matter what, bank will meet its obligation, right? So that is how the forward contract works, by involving a banker here. But see, the banker also face a counterparty risk. The exporter and importers are now not facing any counterparty risk, but all the counterparty risk is now faced by the banker itself. The exporter who has committed that he will give $1 lakh to the bank after 6 months at 90 rupees per dollar. What if on due date the exporter backs away from his commitment? What if the importer backs away from his commitment? It will result in huge losses for the bank. So now the counterparty risk has shifted to the bank. Now bank is taking all the counterparty risk on itself. So like we have already explained, now the question is, how will bank mitigate its counterparty risk? The exporter and importers are now free. They don't have any counterparty risk. All the risk is with the banker now. How will bank mitigate their risk? That we will see in the next video itself. So thank you for watching this video.